Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Boss Rush. Woo, we did it. We're here at the end of 2026.
25.
I'm 2025. Sorry. No, we're going to 2026. We're at the end of 2025. Jeez Louise. My goodness gracious. I skipped a whole year for you all, so congratulations.
Yay,
You're
what
another
happened?
year older and not another year wiser. Clearly. Hey, everybody, my name is Chris Melasinos. I'm the principal evangelist for video games here at AWS. And joining me this week, we have...
Dean Takahashi, editorial director at GameSpeed.
Yay! Back from a long week and a bunch of conferences. Dean's going to bring us up to speed with what happened out there. And we have Dean here as well.
Hey, I'm Mark DeLora. I'm exec director at the Game Developers Conference Festival of Gaming and, developer.
And all that
Nice
stuff.
to see you guys.
And Game Day. Great to see you too. We are missing Susan. She is away on family vacation. Well-earned rest for her. And so we miss her as we close out 2025 and are rolling into 26. But excited for next year. So yay! All right, here we are. We did it. Like I said, we got to the end of the year. And we're able to sneak at least one more in. Don't know if we're going to be doing a live stream on the 26th. I have to see where I'm going to be. And I know Dean is going to be traveling. And don't know where Mark's going to be. But we'll figure all of that out. But let's say this is the capper to our year of 2025. So, all right, fellas. You'll notice that in place of Susan, not replacing Susan, of course, right? But in place of Susan, I have one of my favorite holiday games that I decided to go ahead and pop up here. This is Christmas Nights. Have either of you played Christmas Nights before? Do you know what this is?
Nope, I do know it, but I've never played it.
Okay. So Christmas Nights, Nights into Dreams is a Sega Saturn game done by Yuji Naka. And this was like their 3D game that kind of, they brought out on the Saturn when Mario 64 came out on the Nintendo 64, and they're kind of like, oh, look, we can do 3D too, right? But then what they did was, so wonderful what Sega did here, is they went ahead and created a version that is holiday themed, and they gave it away for free to everybody that registered their Sega Saturn with Sega. So you got in the mail this disc, and it was basically one complete level, all Christmas themed. So while my friends here are going to be talking about some game news and stuff, I'm also going to be playing a little Christmas Nights, right, as we go along. So we're going to see if my attention span can actually hold all of this together, and we'll see what the hell happens. But yeah. So Dean, you're back from multiple conferences and all that stuff going on. Regale us with tales of the Road Warrior.
I went to the Game Awards last week, and that was fun to go inside in person again. And just before that, we had our Hollywood and Games conference for about 5 hours on the December 11th, catching people who were in town for that event. And we had about 375 or so people showing up, 400 at our event. So it was bigger than last year. It's encouraging to see. Also, sort of the context or backdrop of the event was very interesting because the Netflix and the Paramount, sort of fight for Warner Brothers was going on full steam here, and that was really right up the alley of that whole conference, and had some very interesting talks. We had a Paramount person there talking.
Awesome.
Interesting, and there's just more gaming and entertainment sort of crossover news happening. Like just today, I think Roblox and Universal Music Group announced a strategic partnership. So lots of interesting things happening in that crossover of movies and games.
Cool. I saw you've been posting some articles about the talks from your event. I'm going to have to go catch up with those. Those look pretty interesting.
Yeah. We also launched, we had, more interviews we did at the show, but we launched our Big Show podcast with industry CEOs, whose weekly TV Max subscription accessible talks just about CEOs and other famous people in the industry.
Yeah. No, yeah, I had a chance to listen to the first episode. Very well done. Very well done. I'm really looking forward to what you all continue to, plan for and who you interview going forward. But yeah, great job getting that launched. And we know how difficult it is to go ahead and get content launched and put all these pieces together. It is not easy at all. Evidenced by the fact that I said we were at the end of 2026 and not 2025 when we started today. And I'm also trying to listen to everybody talk and play some Christmas nights here at the same time because, not doing too badly, not doing too bad. So Dean, for the GameSpeed event that happened out there, can you share with us, like, what was one of your favorite is the wrong word. What was one of the most surprising kind of talks that you had? There was anything, kind of specific that we should be listening for or looking for when it comes to the content that was there? Like, what was one that you were personally like, okay, that one was really cool, different, unique, or super interesting? I'm sure they were all captivating, but
yeah, I mean, I liked our opening talk that we had with Hallie Gross, who's one of the writers on The Last of Us Part 2 and also the season 2 of The Last of Us TV show. And she went up with David Baronoff from Bad Robot Games, and Bad Robot at the Jeff Keighley show, announced they were working on their first co-op game at the Game Awards, and they were, I think having a good conversation where they put so much emphasis on just creative vision and not listening to people on the sidelines making commentary, and just really trying to carry through a vision without hearing all those voices of the critics who are really trying to just sort of tear you down or get the agenda, and it's kind of the opposite of what you hear from a lot of folks about how we're trying to please people on social media all the time, right? I thought that was, brave.
Also interesting because of the conversations about building a game for your audience, listening to your audience and trying to make the game that they want to see is a different approach. When you're trying to make a singular vision and the vision is maybe different than what people have seen before, it's better to do it behind closed doors.
And look, we kind of get this, all the time, right, in the games industry. Oh, lazy game developer should have done this. Or, boy, if they had really good writers, they would have done this. And it's kind of like, well, no, this is their story. And, it may not be what you necessarily thought it was going to be or wanted, but that's the story that they decided to make, right? The content that they decided to create. People are welcome to go out and make their own too.
Or not buy it if you don't like it.
You do your own UGC, right?
You have plenty of platforms in which to do it. Can't wait to see what you build.
UGC version. This is the game that should have a UGC version.
This one? Oh yeah. Christmas night is a goodie. Levels, it's a goodie. I'm just going to try to get through one level and then I'll stop. And then I'll stop playing. It's just so you really can't hear that music, but listen to. It's just so joyous, this game. It just makes you smile, and you can, look at that, so good. And you unlock all these different little bits like karaoke mode, and you can sing along, and it bounces the lyrics on the screen. And it's so great. I love it so much. Yeah, it's just happy, I mean, my goodness, what a joyous, happy game. So,
what is Yuji Naka working on these days? I haven't seen him around recently.
Well, what is Yuji Naka working on? I don't know what he's working on currently. I know that he had run into some issues regarding well, I don't remember all the details, so I don't want to speak out of turn. There were some issues that Mr. Naka kind of ran into publicly, and so I don't know what he's doing.
You're right.
Doing next.
Good point. But about that.
But he is a brilliant designer, created one of the most iconic characters we ever had, right? It was Sonic the Hedgehog, and or is the lead on that, and also did nights here, which is just really great and lovely and all that good stuff. So anyway, all right, let's jump on to, let's talk about the Game Awards. Dean, you were there. Mark, were you able to get down for the Game Awards?
I was in LA, but I wasn't able to get over to the awards.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll talk about what was going on there too. Dean, how are the awards this year? I can give you the the armchair opinion here, but
yeah, I think it was very good in the spread of games between indies and AAA games, and there were some controversies. Again, the people. I guess the Monday morning quarterbacking, I guess, was hitting where the placement of the best games in the show should have been.
Right.
And I think, Larian's Divinity game was sort of perhaps the most impressive announcement. Also very horrifying, right? But it came out in the middle of the show, right? And it was the game that was teased with this weird, emblem that was supposed to, in the desert, and then they moved that to downtown LA for a while, and so ahead of time they were teasing this game and nobody knew what it was. It turns out to be, a Divinity title, and very, very elaborate and what trailer that got released. And then at the end of the show, they released a game from some ex-Titanfall developers that was called High Guard, and it was a very strange sort of mixture of people riding horses in sci-fi environments, on rails, shooting people as if they were in a first-person shooter game, and it got a very negative reaction. And this was the big reveal at the end of the show, and so people felt, oh, what a letdown! What happened here in the placement of the best content of the show? And should have ended with Divinity maybe. So I think Jeff Keighley got Monday morning quarterbacked a lot there. People they even criticized him after, he said that his father passed away during the year, and he lost his house in the LA fires in January. And we're like, wow, people are quite harsh in reacting to the Game Awards. Those things stood out, but tons and tons of great games. Bruce Lee came back with a very strange animated title, and Bruce was the sidekick of Neil Druckmann in making the Uncharted games and the Last of Us as well. Very interested to see what that game is going to look like.
Yeah. I mean, look, the internet is the place where people love to spout stuff off without any filter in there whatsoever, no consideration sometimes for people. And, it's much like the first panel that you talked about, Dean, is knowing who not to listen to and who to listen to and how do you filter that. But we're all human, and, you feel that stings sometimes. But they would say, right, living well is the best reward. And so, if we take a look, the Game Awards hits 171 million live streams, up 11%. I mean, people can complain all they want about the awards and what won, what didn't win. I think, overall, and it's just a massive net positive for our industry, what Jeff has built. Right, with the Game Awards. It really does elevate the discourse to a massive, massive audience, not just for core game players, but again, kind of normalizing and pushing games further and further out into a mass audience. And it's undeniable the reach that he has. And so I'm thrilled for him and for the people that put on the Game Awards show, and for all of the award winners. Nothing should be taken away from them, right? So congratulations to Jeff and to the whole team over there and for what they did. And there was even some speculation that the reason that they're going to be live streaming the Oscars next year is because of the numbers that Jeff is drawing right on the Game Awards. And this this has been a set of discussions been going on right now on LinkedIn and a bunch of stuff. Our friend here, Richard Brown. Hey, Richard. Good to see you, buddy, in the chat. He said the show production was next level. Jeff did an amazing job. Content wasn't great, a reflection of where we are as an industry. So, it is a reflection of where we are. Although I heard one of the biggest, well-received announcements were the Tomb Raider games, right? That were announced there, which is great.
Yeah, sadly, they kind of leaked out the morning of the show.
Yeah.
but they were very, it's interesting to see the strategy they have in reviving a franchise that has been sitting idle for since 2018, right? And so they have first they're going to do a remake of the very first game,
right?
The Tomb Raider: Legends of Atlantis, and that's going to debut sometime next year. And so a lot of people who don't know Lara Croft are going to sort of get reintroduced to her in this sort of older stage of her career, I guess, because the previous series, the previous trilogy that started in 2013 was really focused on Lara Croft at the beginning of her career and a young, Lara Croft. And this one carries on sort of to more like, I guess, the furthest out in her career of adventuring. And or actually this next one, that is, and they're also doing a 2027 game, Crystal Dynamics, for something called Tomb Raider Catalyst. And it's the older Lara Croft in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. So, I mean, what a great way to kind of, like I said, reboot, refresh, and reintroduce that franchise, right, to a new audience. It's great. Mark, you were going to say? Mark agrees. Mark agrees. All right. Well, listen, let's go ahead and jump into, next piece of really good news to come out about where we are, as Richard pointed out, and we've all talked about, the tumultuous period of time that we've been going through as an industry. But, Newzoo is reporting that global game revenues hit $196.7 billion in 2025, up 7.4%. So, we are starting to see that acceleration out of that COVID period of time, right? And people are like, yeah, how many times can you keep going back to talk about it? It was just 5 years ago, like when it started, right? So, there still is this knock-on effect that has happened, right, by overinvestment and overinflation of what we thought was going to be able to carry out of that pandemic. And we are starting to see these numbers go up. And in fact, Amir Satvat just did a new release of numbers that said that the hiring rate and the attrition rates are much better than we thought, right? Leaving 2025, going to 2026. So, fewer jobs are being, dropped from the industry, more hiring is happening, right? So it feels like as we go into 2026, this is the perfect time to, again, celebrate our industry and kind of look ahead towards growth. What do you gents say? And people that are watching, comments, feedback.
I guess the big sort of caveat to Amir's numbers are that he sees much faster growth for jobs in emerging parts of the world. So, Brazil, South America, Asia, but not as much in the core of, say, Europe or the core of the United States. And in the U.S., the states with the five the biggest populations of game developers are not growing as fast as jobs in other parts of the U.S., right? And so places like, say, San Francisco, maybe you could expect slower growth rates for game jobs. But yeah, all this depends on sort of individual companies and how they're doing, I think. So, but it's still good, very good news that Amir sees an actual recovery happening in game jobs. And, this is long overdue. It's like 3 years of stalling or going backwards, I think, before this. And I think this is still happening even in the face of, the onset of AI, right? So
Yeah.
so that's interesting, and yeah, the new zoo numbers are encouraging too, where you have 7.7% growth and a stronger, I think, 4.9% compound annual growth rate for the next 4 years,
Yeah.
which is better than the 4.2% rate of the previous 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So good numbers there.
Yep. Yeah. So very good and really positive. Also, the growth numbers that we're seeing on the PC side also really encouraging too, right? And this, I think, will play really well into Valve's strategy going forward, right around Steam and their ecosystem. So it's, yeah, it's, if anything, this industry keeps surprising us, right? It's constantly changing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to what we can all collectively build together in 2026 and going forward. So, all right. So those are some good positive things. Jeff Keighley, once again, killing those numbers again. Congratulations, Jeff, to all of that. And for those massive numbers, and to all of us in the games industry for posting, these numbers right on that cusp of that $200 billion mark, right? So really fantastic. What other big news do you guys have at the top of your brain, or for people that are watching, go ahead and pop into the chat. Let us know.
Yeah, there was some interesting news on the soccer games front, where FIFA has now sort of moved back into licensing for soccer games, and so today they announced the deal with Roblox to get a FIFA game out there, and they're rebranding a game from GameFam as a soccer game as FIFA Super Soccer, and so that one's live now as well. And then they also announced Netflix games and Delphi Interactive. The folks who are doing Delphi's working with IO Interactive and EA to bring the 007 game out, James Bond game.
Yep.
And now Delphi is working with FIFA as well on a football, or a soccer simulation game that Netflix Games is going to publish. And so some years after EA gave up the FIFA branding on its games and went for EA Sports instead, and directly licensed with lots of athletes. Now, FIFA is which in those days had been hit with a corruption scandal, right, and other problems, and looked like they were on their way down or way out. Now they're coming back with real competition for EA in the soccer game market, maybe not so directly, I guess, but in different ways, and so that's going to be interesting to watch how the sports game competition plays out, even as EA gets acquired by the very sports friendly Saudis.
Yeah. Now that will be interesting, right? I mean, they were able to go ahead and keep that franchise going without the branding and without the licensing. So now they've got, so the question is there that same kind of market for that with outside of what EA has built, right? Yeah. And where people have all this muscle memory for basically, 30 years, right? Of going to EA to play these things. It'll also be interesting to see how it all plays out with, current FIFA activities, right? Yeah. So,
which is like the big thing next year is the FIFA World Cup coming to the US, right?
Mm-hmm.
So interesting timing for those games to be, hitting as that comes out. But also, what is EA going to do? they're gonna talk about, I think, the soccer World Cup or the football World Cup as opposed to the FIFA World Cup, right?
Yeah, yeah, it will be. Mark, how about you, buddy? What do you got? What's popping up there?
Flipping through things here. I mean, the thing for me that, of course, I'm excited about is that we launched the schedule for GDC.
Woo!
Yeah,
and there's tons and tons and tons and tons of awesome stuff in there, and a bunch of things that friends of ours are doing. The one that popped to me is I just went and looked to make sure the site was running, because that's what I do now. Was our friend Don Daglow So we're going to start a series of talks at GDC called GDC Masters, where we try to find people who have been in the industry for a long time and have things to say that maybe don't say them. We want to record for posterity to give us the wisdom of your 40 years in the industry or 50 years in the industry. And Don's been around a really long time, and he does talks at the show fairly frequently. But I was like, Don, what would you tell people if you wanted to record a video and you wanted it to go up on the vault or on YouTube for people to see 10, 20, 30 years from now? Like, what would you say? So that's the GDC Masters line. So Don's doing the first one of these. Hopefully this will be something we'll continue in the years to come. But there's so much content at the show. I'm excited about so much of it.
Well, hold on. There is, and if you want, if you want an inkling,
I like to think about Don's, tapping his experience, because the cycles of the game industry have been so crazy and anomalous in the last few years that people are wondering, what's coming next? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And it's like people like Don that have decades of experience living through all of these cycles of the past, who can pull out insights on things. And I did a talk with Rob Dyer of Capcom as well, a similar one. And it's very interesting, to look back in history, and like he thinks, we may have a console maker transition happen, right?
That's interesting.
Those kinds of things haven't happened for a long time, but there's so much disruption now that he thinks that it's time for the different big hardware makers to step up or step out, right?
Wow.
Like they can't they can't go on as is, he thinks.
Business as usual. Yeah.
Well, if you want an inkling into some of that, there was an interview done called Game Industry Legends with Don Daglow by an enterprising, newcomer to the industry. So if if y'all are looking for some for some people with interviewing skills, happy to assist GDC. So we can figure that out there. Game Industry Legends, folks, check it on your favorite YouTube channel, which would be the AWS Games Industry Legends series. Shameless self-promoter.
Backing up a little, it's kudos to GDC for getting its schedule out earlier than normal, I think, right? And, people plan better, plan their week and all that.
That was exactly why we're trying to make the content more accessible for everybody this year, and part of that is like making sure that they can plan ahead for when they're going to be in, what days they want to be in town and how much of the show they're going to be at. So the team worked their butts off on this, so thank you for saying that.
And do you see more of the new GDC in this content as well too?
I think yes and no, right? The advisory board that has selected content for years and years is a lot of the same people. So in terms of what's valued and prioritized, you're going to see a lot of similar themes. The summits are spread across the week a little differently than they used to be. So there'll be, for some of the, like machine learning as an example, there are pods on different days of the week of a couple of talks together instead of all of the talks being stacked up on Monday, Tuesday for summits like it was last year. And you'll see more talk types in here than you've seen before. There's more micro talks. We're trying to do more fireside chats. I'm still having a debate about how to do debates. I would love to have debates at the show, but I haven't quite found the right topics and willing culprits to do them, but I'm still looking.
So Hideo Kojima is giving a keynote.
Kojima is going to give a keynote, which is going to be amazing. Talking about 10 years for his studio, right? What it's like to run an indie studio. So
Yeah, his should be pretty good. I also heard this one's going to be pretty amazing too. So just make sure you head on over and check that one out there. That one live too. So, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just getting it all in before the end of the year. So
you and I are supposed to talk about this stuff. I forgot.
Let's go. Yes, this is the talk I basically gave at Rovio.
And don't forget about the independent game journalists panel.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yes.
Yay! That's going to be great. I don't remember what day that's on. We're going to have to look that one up.
That's on the first day, Monday.
All right, let's see who's in there.
And we're working out how to have the podcast at the show. So we were just talking about that before. So we are coordinating, and we're going to do something awesome.
Yes. And I, apart from the responsibilities I have for my employer, I will be there manning that stuff. We will do all kinds of craziness around there, including we may just need to do the late night suite one again, just because of how much fun that was.
Much fun. Yeah, it was super fun.
And Dean, you need to be there this time. It was a chaotic mess.
We should do that. We should plan that.
Of just beautifulness and people sprawling all over the room, and we had a live studio audience. It was great.
Yep. You're right. We do have to do that again. Yeah, no matter what. Let's do that.
Oh, so darn good. Yeah. So I can't wait, Mark. I'm so excited for GDC, and hearing your voice and your kind of influence, right, kind of echo through what we're seeing come out of there is just awesome. It's gonna.
Thanks, man.
I know it's very exciting. So we're all rooting for you and for GDC, and can't wait.
Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be a great show. It can represent the industry well, and we won't all die planning it. Wow, it's a lot of work.
How many GDCs is this for you, Mark?
I was trying to figure that out the other day. I think it is 28.
Oof.
Something like that. My first, I believe, was 97. I thought maybe it was 96, but I couldn't find any evidence that was actually the case.
So I will find evidence if it exists. How about you, Dean?
I definitely haven't missed any since like 97 time frame or so, 96, and then I do remember going to a computer games conference in Long Beach. Once as well. So. Back in the days of San Jose for sure. It's been many.
This is my 20. This will be my 26th next year. So we're all right there in there. And it's just wonderful to see how much it's grown and why it feels like homecoming, right? For those that have been around for a while.
And there's a certain point when you decide, well, maybe I shouldn't tell people how many I've been to. Because
I know. Right.
Says the one guy on camera that doesn't have a gray hair on his damn head, right?
Yeah,
Dean's just like, I started going when I was 10. That's why I've been there so long.
Some gremlin comes out at night and dyes my hair.
Oh, look at that. Look at that now. Just more on-camera magic right there. Hey, Dean, you did mention earlier, I want to make sure that we circle back around to this too before we ran out of time, which was about the WB Games acquisition. Hogwarts Legacy clears 40 million units sold.
Yeah.
Right? Amazing.
I wonder how many of those people didn't finish the game.
Do you ever really finish it?
Was the game finished yet? Live service did, right? But yeah, that's an amazing number. I don't know how many dollars is that going to be. That's in the billions of dollars, right?
It is. When I had used the reported numbers about a year and a half ago. In a presentation. At the time, Hogwarts Legacy was the second largest revenue producing Hogwarts or Harry Potter branded property amongst all the books and movies. Like it was massive, absolutely massive, right? And it's only grown since then. If you haven't played it, it's extraordinary. I mean, it's a lovely game, and they've done a really good job of actually separating the world of Hogwarts from the world of Harry Potter, right? Yeah. So it gets to stand alone as its own thing, right? Which is just wonderful, really, really wonderful.
Yep.
Love it. And then I had an interesting one that popped back up. I don't know if you guys, well, I know Dean has seen this, but Mark, I'm not sure if you have. Atari Hotels just launched
Oh,
a
yeah.
$40 million equity crowdfunding bid.
Mm-hmm.
So have you all seen the earlier mock-ups of what the hotel was going to look like? This is going back several years ago.
I remember when Fred Chastain was the CEO and he announced these hotels were going to happen. Interesting that they have to turn to crowdfunding to try to raise all that money.
Interesting.
So hotels are not cheap to build apparently.
No, they are not.
Yeah.
They are not.
But it does seem like a fun idea. Like I know Disney did that Star Wars hotel, right? And it seemed so popular, but then they closed it down, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was something like $6,500 for 2 nights at the hotel. Like
maybe that was not
Wow.
the greatest move.
But you got this whole big experience that went along with it.
Or you could buy a car.
Or you could buy a car. Yes. This brand new car.
Oh, man.
Oh, you guessed
I don't know
over
why
there
they
now.
couldn't just keep the doors open and say, "Oh, let's turn it into a $100 hotel." Right?
Yeah.
But it says here, the goal of Atari Hotel is to combine nostalgia for Atari's classic and futuristic cyberpunk-inspired aesthetic, featuring both high-tech guest rooms and creator studios, as well as bars, restaurants, and a 2,000-person esports and concert venue. To achieve this vision, Intersection Development is looking to leverage a regulation A offering. They had some earlier concept pieces up about the hotel, which I thought was pretty cool, and things like you could rent an Atari library of content for your room, and all of this kind of branded stuff, and little nods and winks to the history of Atari and games through the whole thing. So I definitely when it launches, I will definitely be there to check it out. So I think it's
I'm with you.
it's
And
pretty
then I'll
awesome.
be advocating for an Intellivision version. And
Well, they own Intellivision now, so that's got to be part of it.
Yep, next
right?
door.
Yeah. Didn't they say poor Don Daglow? That's the question. Whoever we answer is like, so how do you feel now that Running Man is part of the Atari collection? And he's going to go, I'm going to punch you right in the throat when we get off the stage.
There was another Running Man, I guess, promo that happened in the past week or so, and Ingress, the spatial game, and so they felt like there was a nice matchup in the themes of Running Man and moving around in the real world, I think, right? So
I did see that up there on your site.
I was just surprised to see any news with Ingress in it. It's been that game's been out for so long. Good job.
Well, interesting that Niantic Spatial, when Niantic split, took that with them too, right?
Yeah. Super interesting.
That sort of devotion to those existing fans that have kept that game going for many years.
Oh yeah. And people forget, one of the reasons Google Maps became kind of the leader standard is because of Ingress and basically getting millions of people validating map pathing, putting in points of interest, logging all of that stuff because they're playing the game, and you're like, you sure are, and just validating all their data. That was brilliant move on their part. I remember when I was at Verizon, some of the energy portals that you had to collect were only inside of the Verizon campus. So unless you were an employee there, you couldn't either defend or attack them.
I have the same feeling about some of the White House points that are on positions that now don't exist, which makes me very sad.
Yes.
No,
Somebody knocked them over.
Correct. It would not be Boss Rush if we didn't sneak in a couple of those from our DC expat.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting how much politics is seeping into game-related things as well, right? I mean, the Trump administration's sort of imprints are all over the situation in the bidding for Warner Brothers, right? And so, the interesting theories I've heard going back to this big deal that we haven't talked about so much yet is that, did Netflix simply try to acquire Warner Brothers just to keep it out of the hands of somebody else, right? And they have a $5 billion breakup fee, but if their market cap grows tremendously, then it will have been worth it, right? If they can add $500 billion to their market value at the cost of a $5 billion breakup fee, then maybe they calculate that we win if we win, and we also win if we lose, because we keep Warner Brothers out of the hands of our arch competitors like Paramount now, right? And so and then Paramount comes in with their bid that includes Jared Kushner, and so you can expect, well, this is going to get antitrust approval from the Trump administration, right? Whereas Netflix, the reason this deal seems unlikely on its face is that they're trying to combine the number 1 streaming company with the number 3 streaming company. And Netflix has a history of raising prices, right? and you can see sort of obvious consumer harm that could come from such a deal, with more consolidation or concentration in the hands of one company. But in the meanwhile, like, nobody's talking about Warner Brothers Games, which is $1.5 billion company within Warner Brothers, and what's going to happen to that. And it could make Netflix a huge player in games overnight. But it's not so good a match for the subscription focused business that Netflix has, right? Where, like, you're not going to all of a sudden start selling $70 games to go with that subscription. So what is what is their interest in holding on to something like that, or would they sell it off, right? So lots of interesting things going on there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be a while for all of this to play out, right? So,
2 years at least, right?
Yeah, at least, at the very least. Yeah, for sure. All right. What other, let's see, big news do you have? I only have like 1 or 2 other ones. And then I thought maybe, since it's the last time, we'd go ahead and try an experiment here in gameplay. So, Mark, any big pressing pieces of news, things you wanted to go ahead and share?
You got me all distracted now. I was going on and looking at the White House picture of Trump as a Minecraft character, which in the past I would have been excited about, but I was not. There's on another note, I was interested in this Roblox NBC Sports news that you posted on GamesBeat, Dean.
Yeah.
So them having an in-game event inside of NFL Universe football on Roblox during week 17. I don't know if you saw this, Chris. I was like, oh, that's super interesting, just because, first off, like, NFL cross Roblox is not something that was on my radar. But there's just like increasing drumbeat of interesting alliances of licensed content and Roblox. So I keep going over there to just check out what it is that people have done.
I think there's that core interesting argument of, like, they've got the lock on kids, right? And on top of that, they have 151 million daily active users now, and nobody has that and match that in the game industry, right? Just the reach. And so what that means to, I think, a lot of the brands out there is that we have to be on these platforms in order to reach kids, because they're not going anywhere else. They're not on television. They're not watching television anymore, right? And for Disney, that calculation with going on to Fortnite, they explicitly said that, like, if we're not on these platforms reaching the gamers and the kids where they are now, those kids will grow up without us. And in a generation, our brand will be gone. Like, that's Disney that's saying that, right? And so everybody you see is piling into, all the brands are piling into, Roblox and Fortnite, and if it were possible in some way, Minecraft too, right?
I love this quote in here. NFL Universe Football is a great platform that lets our fans share their fandom with friends and celebrate big moments together through fun and accessible gameplay, said Ed Kang, Vice President of Video Gaming for National Football League, in a prepared statement. The NFL's Week 17 games are a pivotal time in the season. We're delighted to extend the excitement to our experience on Roblox. In Roblox. So that's on accident or by accident. That's the one that always sticks in the back of my brain. Is it on accident or by accident when something happens? What is it, Mark?
Right.
It's by accident, right? It's on.
I've moved past my days of.
It's not on accident. My goodness gracious, right? AP Style Guide. Let's go. Anyway, as long as it feels organic and true to the platform, then they'll have a voice. But right now, right, like a lot of professional sports are seeing that attrition at the lower end because of things that, you know, like you mentioned, Dean. The kids aren't watching TV like that, right? One of the interesting things that I experienced with people in my life, right, that got back into football because of things like NFL Red Zone, where it's just showing you, like, you know, the highlight clips of all the games that are happening at once. And every time a touchdown happens, like, it fires that information right at you. And that, by tapping into the behaviors that we are experiencing now across all forms of content, that fractional engagement, it's now pulling them back in. And once they get into that cycle, then they're watching more of the longer form content. So there is an opportunity here, right, for traditional sports to kind of throw their arms around, right, that the younger audience that may have just not discovered this, because not only are they not watching it, but for the younger ones that are, you know, that this may even line up with, their parents may not be watching it anymore, right? So, you know, so long as, again, that it feels authentic, it's engaging, and provides value, I think that those franchises will absolutely have an opportunity
The NFL example is really interesting because to me, as a non-hardcore fan of football, in other words, when my team is doing well in my area, I might watch a game and be excited and cheer them on. Whenever there's a game, I can't frickin' find the thing on television anymore because it's sort of turned into that the games are on the services, and so if you're not on a service, you're not finding the game. So the fact that, like, now I know I can go over to Roblox during week 17 and, like, experience some of the game, that's more valuable to me than the actual mainstream coverage, because I don't know where to find the mainstream coverage. It's just like in a random place on a random day. It's not like there's, you know, the games aren't all on Sunday now. It's just, you know, unless you're really into it, I find it a little harder to penetrate, you know, NFL in particular these days.
Yeah, no, can't disagree with that. And there's discussion going on in the chat here with Richard and JP. Hey, JP, thank you for being here. About jailbreak, you know, on Roblox. And Richard pointed out, I think people are happy enough to play schlock jailbreak right now. Doing it AA or AAA version would be redundant. This goes back to what, you know, I've, you know, said for quite a long time now. In fact, I found the first time on camera that I gave this quote, it was in 2008, which is, people care about the fidelity of contact over the fidelity of content every time, right? Most every time, which is it something that I can jump into quickly at a moment where there's a meaningful interaction? May not be the most optimal way, but if it's important to me and I have access to it, then that is, you know, the best at that very moment in time. That's kind of like the old, you know, question of what's the best camera in the world to own?
Yeah,
a camera when you need a camera. Like, it doesn't matter if you've got a $10,000 camera at home if you don't have it and you need to take a picture of something that's important to you. And so it is important to remember that it's not always about the bombastic, big, you know, high-end presentation. It's about value to people in the context and time in which they're engaged in playing, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I love those, like, streaming. So for baseball in particular, I've gone onto the websites that don't show the show. Well, you know, what they show is like, okay, somebody just got on second base. Okay, no, this person's up. Okay, that second pitch was high. And it's just like this little interactive website that's not the game, but it's showing the game, kind of. Like, that's perfect, because there's some people who they can't get on the stream right now. They're at work, they're in their car or whatever, but they still want to stay in touch with the experience. Like,
that's right.
so cool. Good idea.
I think the very interesting thing you're getting to here also is core to a lot of EA strategy going forward, where they've been talking about this EA Sports app that they've been working on for quite a long time, and it gets a big launch next year, right? And they're not just in the business of making sports games anymore, and they see that the place where people, back to the young generation again, the place where people engage with sports for the very first time is through video games, right? And, if they want to just sort of keep them there on EA, then they're going to provide sports news and sporting events information on the mobile app, right? And so this is core to their strategy, and I believe Matthew Ball wrote a sort of excellent analysis of EA's acquisition by the Saudis and others. The $55 billion deal has a real strategy to it because the Saudis are so deep into sports, right? And they're investing in the things, the PGA, et cetera. EA is definitely one more of the sports properties that they will own.
Yeah.
Right? And so, all part of a broader esports strategy and other all things sports. I think so. It's you're seeing the expression of strategy happening on very high levels. Right?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, listen. Let me see. Are we there? We are. So we are coming up here to the end of the episode here. I know we typically go and talk about the games we're playing, but I want to see if we can go ahead and try to play a game together that Mark had a wonderful experience with a family member trying this out, and we're going to try to do this. I've never done this, but tried to go ahead and run a game live that I've not previously kind of set up the opportunity or tested it. So we're going to go into this basically blind here and see if I can't make this thing work. So
this is boss level right there.
That's right. What is 100%? That is exactly what it is about, right? This is 100% boss level. So, all right, let me see if we can do this here. So what we are going to do, we should have a blank frame up here now, and what we are going to do is try to capture this screen here. Oh, we're going to play a bit of Angry Birds Flock Party. So if you have a
Kelly Flock's game,
yeah, exactly. No, see, now you made me sad.
Sorry. Oh.
Now you made me sad.
I know. Sorry.
All right. If Dean, I don't know if you can see that QR code if you're watching. I know Mark, you're probably viewing it from another browser, right?
Look how compressed that.
Yeah, that's why. Because you don't look at it through there. Look at it through your. So if anybody else that's watching takes out their phone, points it at the QR code, and jumps in first, go ahead and grab that QR code. Let's see if people are going to try to do this.
Super MPEG compressed. If I make it bigger, maybe it'll work.
Go look at it on a different browser. Go to the live stream, and then you can see the QR code. Oh, Dean's going to try to get in there. Let's see. We're going to see if this works. I have no idea if we're going to make it work.
Unite controller.
Yep, just hit play, Dean. And then enter in your name.
This is a great day for somebody in my neighborhood to be cutting down a tree.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Dean is in there. Look at that. We were able to go ahead and get that done. Hooray. We did that live. Who else has got... Jiggy Goo has jumped in to play. And we got one more. We're just waiting for a fourth to jump in. James is in. All right. We are going to go ahead and jump in, and we're going to play a little bit of... no, I will take control. Don't do that. All right, here we go. So we're all working together. I have control of the board. And the rest of you will have little icons on your screen that have like fart and burp. So if somebody presses one of them, you'll see the pigs start to fart and burp on screen.
Yeah, I see Chris Milesinos is always on the cutting edge of game technology.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay, here we go. So now I am going to fire.
Oh, you played this before. Oh,
Oh,
what happened?
who did that? Who backed
What?
out?
Not me.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting here.
There we go.
waiting.
Okay.
oh, you got to try again.
Yeah, I'm back in. All right, here we go.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, Jiggy Goo,
so
what?
cool. Look at that.
Nice. And then get that last little piggy to blow up.
All right, come on, Dean. This is all you, buddy.
I'm still in a waiting room of some kind.
Oh no, this is Jiggy Goo's turn, isn't it? Who's Jiggy Goo?
Oh,
There
Jiggy.
we go.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
too
it is.
high,
Yeah, it's
too
Jiggy.
high.
Oh, Jiggy Goo, what
Oh.
did you do? All right, now it's Dean.
Attack.
There you go, Dean. You are up
Got this.
next,
All right,
buddy.
here we go.
Come on,
Oh, that looks
Mr.
like a tough one.
Takashi.
Why can I not
Lower.
see what I'm aiming at?
You can't. Oh no! So the slingshot is on your phone. You need to look at the TV screen.
Oh, it's quantized, so you
Okay.
can't see the
The
arc.
TV screen is still showing nothing. Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
see a
All right.
tiny
All
little
right. Well,
animation.
Yeah, it's
okay.
a tiny little animation for you, Dean. You can actually click on that on my picture.
Oh,
in
look at
our-
that. He's a pro.
Yeah, he looked at
Nailed
that.
it.
He didn't even
Hey, all
mute
right,
it.
we got it.
Oh, look at that. Dean's is like, I don't even know. How do you play this game again? What is this Angry Birds game? So here's the thing I
Nice.
definitely want to go ahead and point out, right, is that this is streaming. So Dean, you're up next, buddy. So
Okay.
this is streaming off of Luna. And
This is an
we've
ad.
got myself here in Northern Virginia. We have Dean out in California. I don't know where Jiggy Goo is playing from either.
Oh, shit.
Oh, we have James
Almost.
as well.
Didn't quite
And
get
so we're
Right, it's
not
up to you,
even in the
James.
same room, but we're able to go ahead and play together through this
You do that,
platform,
then.
right? And it's awesome. I mean, it's really fantastic. Let's see. James is up next.
Ooh.
All right, let's see. We got to do the Eagle bombardment. Oh, it's John. John Goodell. Yay, buddy.
Oh,
John is
got
Jiggy
this.
Goo, and he is playing from Boise, Idaho. So we've got people basically all across the country now joined in playing this, using their phone as a controller. Those of you that can't see,
Nice.
right? Which is
You
pretty
know.
amazing. And like I said before, if you're already a subscriber to Prime, you get all these games in Luna for free, right? With your subscription. So
You gotta be
Oh.
playing on chrismelosinos.com.
that's right. That's exactly right. Oh, and we failed. Womp, 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 womp. But guess what? We did it. We made it work.
That was awesome. Nice job, everybody.
Yay!
you go.
Good job, everyone. Thank you,
more of
everybody,
that.
for jumping in to go ahead and give that a try. I just thought it would be a fun experiment to see if we could actually make it work, and we did,
Yeah.
and we
Holidays.
did. Mark, for the people
fun.
that weren't joining us last week, tell them your experience with this.
Oh yeah, I just because Chris had mentioned that he was playing the Flock Party game. Over Thanksgiving, I was with my in-laws and decided to. They had a Fire Stick, so I was like, "Oh, let's see how well Luna works on the Fire Stick." You know, my in-laws' place. So I brought it up, and then there was Angry Birds. I brought that up, and I was sitting there with my father-in-law. And I was like, "I wonder if he'd play this." So I just gave him my phone. I was like, "Hey, have you ever seen this game before? Yeah, give it a try." And he played a few rounds of Angry Birds with me, and then afterward he said, "That's the first game I've ever played on a television."
See, look at that.
I was like,
Look
"What?
at that.
That's amazing!"
I love
Yeah.
hearing that, right?
I
But that's
love
what it's
that
about
so
is
much.
how do we get people in to play, no friction, just jump in and have
Right.
the joy of
And it
playing
was
together,
super
right?
easy.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
it
pretty
was I mean,
awesome.
the controls, being able to have the controls on the mobile phone is pretty awesome. It
Yeah.
makes it pretty accessible fast. So nice
Yep.
job.
For sure. For sure. All right. So we are right up at the end for this year. I
Yeah.
can't believe it's already at. Oh, I have one more thing I want to share with everybody.
Oh,
Thanks for everybody that went ahead and stayed with us through the end of the program. But we now have a Spotify page. Yay! So I am going to be spending my time, some of my time, not all of it, over the break here, getting all of the previous episodes kind of edited with proper bumpers on it and everything else, and all pushed up there. So we're going to get the entire catalog of content up onto Spotify, and then we'll be looking at other podcast places to go ahead and drop it. So you'll be able to take Boss Rush on the go with you. And
you can go back and listen to the episodes about us talking about the launch of the Intellivision.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And also see what we got wrong and what we got right. And then we'll do a yearly recap, just like every damn service is doing right now.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. We haven't done our, what were the hot news items of the year or any of that. Oh.
Exactly. Okay. I'm like, come on. We don't need that for everything. My goodness gracious.
No. What are you guys playing? We're rolling up on the holidays.
We're playing.
What are you playing?
I'm back to some Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
I hear it won a couple of awards. Steve.
Maybe that's what I should play over the break.
10 big awards at the Game Awards.
Woo!
Yeah.
Man. I was playing ball pit and then Peggle when I'm on flights. I have to get too much turbulence. Peggle's my distraction. It works great.
Did you say Peggle is your distraction?
I totally did. Peggle blast. That's what I need. Something to distract me when the plane's bouncing around. It works the trick.
You know, it is, it's a pachinko machine.
It is. It's great.
The ball dropped and there's always that tension as it's bouncing to the bottom. It's like, oh my goodness,
what bouncing around in the skies, either that or high-speed Tetris. That's what distracts me.
Yeah, exactly. I have been playing. I've been going back and playing the Stranger Things mobile games, and there is a Stranger Things VR game where you play as Vecna because the next 4 episodes are dropping on Sunday night at 8 p.m. and the finale is New Year's Eve. So I was like, all right, those mobile games are actually really, really good. They are 8-bit throwback or 16-bit throwback games. They are amazing. And I think they're all, if you're a Netflix subscriber, you get access to all of them for free as well. They're pretty amazing. And then Pixel Rift 1978, I think is what it's called. If you've never played the Pixel Rift games in VR, they're amazing. And in this version, you are an employee at Atari in 1978, I think it is. And you think job simulator type of stuff, but all taking place like in this. So I just got it. I'm looking forward to digging in and playing it. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. So I want to thank my co-hosts, of course, Mark Delora, Dean Takahashi, and for Susan, who is not able to join us. And thank you all for joining us, pretty much every week, right? As I fumble my colleagues and my friends, not colleagues, my friends, people I love very much through game industry news. Thank you all for, being fans and continuing to promote it. Please let people know about the live stream. We want to make sure we make this even bigger going to 2026. But most importantly, I hope truly everybody has a safe, joyous, happy holiday season. Really important to lean into friends and family.
Will be a little busy doing year-end stories, but also getting ready for CES.
But if I see one post from you where it's like, oh, I did 22 stories today, I'm going to tackle you at GDC or DICE. You need to give those hands and that big brain a rest too. So anyway, thanks everybody so much.
Tell the industry to be quiet.
Anyway, hey, industry, take a break. Shut the hell up so Dean can get a break. All right, thanks everybody. Have an awesome new year. We'll see you in 2026. Bye.
Play lots of games. Bye.